Hello everyone, hello, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to Pilates with Yvonne. I am Yvonne and today we will do a Pilates flow. Today's session is going to be focusing on lower back pain. So if you usually have lower back pain, try this Pilates flow and see how you feel. We're going to try to pay attention to the alignment of our pelvis. We're going to lengthen through the lower back, and as well we're going to have some stretches and some strengthening exercises as well. So before starting, don't forget to just subscribe to my channel and turn on your notifications as well so you can see and know when I'm going to post the next Pilates session. So whenever you're ready, we're just going to get started. So we're going to get started onto our backs today. So I'm going to ask you to just lie down onto the mat. We're going to start to bring the arms here by the side of the body. Knees are bent, feet are hip distance. Chin is likely tucked towards the chest. We're going to start to breathe in here through the nose, into the rib cage, breathing out through the mouth. Bring the ribs in and down. And again, breathing in, breathing out. We usually breathe in through the nostrils, exhale through pursed lips. And just take one more breath just to arrive into the mat, arrive into the space. And a long exhale. And we start to move. Beautiful. We're going to start to bring the arms here into a T shape. Start to flip the palms of the hands up to the ceiling. Really breathe into the sides of the ribs. So we have always a lateral breathing. I'm going to ask you to start to lift the toes and the heels. So we're going to squeeze the legs together. Just the tippy toes are on the floor. And now we're going to start to drop the knees towards the left side, so towards the camera, breathing in. Keep the nose up to the ceiling. Feel that stretch and that rotation into the middle back. And breathing out. Come back. And we go to the other side, breathing in to the right. Shoulder blades on the floor. Exhaling. Start to involve and engage those obliques. And we go for 4, breathing in and out. 3 more times, breathing in. And every time you're gluing the thighs, the calves, you're pressing through the toes. You're trying to release the lower back, so there is not a big arch, but at the same time, there is not even a compression of the lower back. So we're into a neutral spine here. And on the next one, I'm going to ask you to ground your feet and start to bring the feet back to a hip distance position. We're going to start to bring the hands on top of the hip bones, especially your index fingers on top of the hip bones and the thumbs at the back of the hips. Start to press the lower back down. So we start to squeeze the glutes. You want to imprint your spine. And then breathing in, I'm going to ask you to arch the spine. So we create a little gap under the lower back. So breathing out, we are tucking the tailbone and pressing through the feet. We can lift the tailbone an inch. And now we inhale to open through the chest and arch through the back. So every time you exhale, I want you to think about lengthening the lower back and feel the rib cage pointing down towards the hip bones. And every time you breathe in, you're trying to relax the hips and you're creating that little gap under the lower back. And again, breathing out, imprinted spine, inhaling, arch. Now I'm going to ask you to make the movement smaller and smaller. So carry on rocking that pelvis, yeah? So we just rock and tilt the pelvis forward and back. But we make the movement smaller, so I'm going to ask you to find your middle point, your halfway movement, yeah? Somewhere where you're not compressing the lower back on the floor and somewhere where we are not arching the lower back off the mat. So I'm going to lengthen the arms from here. Now keeping that position through the hips, we're going to breathe out to lift the left leg in tabletop. Inhaling, return the toes and the heel back down. Exhale, we repeat the same onto the other side. Inhale, toes and heel down. Exhale, lift your left. Inhale, toes down, heel down. And every time we think about maintaining that neutral spine, so there is not a big gap under the lower back, just a little pocket of air. And this ideally should help you to feel the activation into your core, into your abdominal wall. So we're going to think about the rib cage closing in and down. Give me just 2 more for each side here. Breathing out to lift and engage. Inhale to tap the toes and release. And we just go for 1 more for each side. Now really maintain those shoulders away from the ears if you can. So if you need to walk your hands a little bit further and spread through your fingertips, feel free to do that, everyone. Beautiful. Now we're going to start to reach the opposite arm. So the right arm is going to reach above the head. I'm going to start to flex the foot. So always maintaining that neutral spine. We're going to lengthen that left leg long and away, an inch off the floor, keeping that neutral spine. And then we return the arm down, heel down, toes down. And we'll repeat the same on the other side. So flex the right foot, lengthen the left arm, exhale on the way out, keep the leg off the mat, and then breathing in, retrace for 4. Breathing out, inhale. 3 more, breath out. So always focusing on the lower abs, really working, and keeping the lower back still and protected. So you're working with the front of the core. You're not compensating with the back. And we just take last one for each side. Exhale, flex the foot and send. And inhale, return. Last one, flex and send, and heel returns down. Beautiful. From here, we're going to start to breathe in through the nose. Exhale, lift your right and left leg in 90 degrees angle, tabletop. We're going to start to maybe lengthen the lower back a little bit more. So feel the mat under the spine. And from these, we're going to start to change the hands at the back of the head. So we will just bring the hands behind the skull with the elbows off the floor. Take an inhale. Remember, your rib cage doesn't pop up. We want to bring the ribs down, flattering through the belly. Exhale, let's curve the torso up. From here, reach the arms to the front of the mat. Inhale. Exhale, give me 1 inch higher through the shoulders. Interlace the hands and release everything down. And we go for 3 more. Exhale, curl up through the top of the core. Reach the arms long. Inhale. Exhale, curl an inch higher. Inhale, hands behind the head. Release the chest down. And again, big breath out. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curling higher. Inhale, hands back, melting the torso. 1 more. The legs are always still. There is no pressure onto the back. There is always just that lift from the sternum bone and then into the shoulders. And from here, we just relax the head into the hands from here on. So from here, we just extend that left leg long towards the front of the mat. And then we swap, breathing out. And then we swap just for 6 into your single leg stretch. For 5. Exhale for 4. Focus on your lower back placement. 3. Exhale through the mouth. 2. Give me last one, everyone. Beautiful. We're going to return those feet down onto the floor. Bring in the feet hip distance. We're going to release the arms. So from here, arms will come back to the side of the mat. Breathe in. Exhale. We're going to start to squeeze the glutes and lift the hips into our shoulder bridge, pressing the feet down and lifting the hips up. Now, something really important. I don't want you to arch your spine. Can you see that I'm relaxing my glutes? I want you to squeeze the glutes and think about your tailbone lengthening in between the knees, yeah? If I feel my lower back starting to hike, it means my hips are too high. So I'm going to keep them slightly lower. Now from here, your arms are going to reach long and above the head. Breathing in. Exhale, we're going to release the hips down to the floor. And now we circle the arms wide and down by the side of the body, inhaling. So breathing out, squeeze the glutes, lift the hips, activate your pelvic floor. Remember, your ribs and hips are always connected. Inhale, long arms, don't overarch the back. Keep the hips nice and low. Release the hips down, keep the arms floating off the mat, and then circle the arms around and down. For 3 more times, breathing out. Inhale, long arms. Exhale, hips lowering from the top of the spine, middle back, lower back. Inhale, arms returning. 2 more times. Really feel the feet equally pressing down onto the floor. Really lift the arms without flaring through the rib cage. Return the hips down. Circle those arms away from the shoulders and come back. Give me one more, everyone. Breathing out, hips up. Breathing in, reach the arms. And from here, we just stay with those arms circling. Your hips are staying off the floor. You're squeezing your glutes, and you're just circling the arms up and sideways. Inhale above, exhale sideways for 4. Breathing in and out. 3 more and out. 2 more. Keep lifting the hips. Exhaling through the arms. Last one. Beautiful job. Return the arms into a T shape. Release the hips fully down to the floor. And from here, I'm going to ask you to drop the knees towards me. And I'm going to ask you to bring your right arm on top of the left arm. So from this position, I'm going to ask you to relax the hips and the legs. So we have one leg on top of the other and one arm on top of the other. Now, if your head is just resting on the floor, it's absolutely okay. But if it feels discomfortable for the neck, I'm going to ask you to place a pillow or a hoodie or anything you have at home, a towel, so you can just rest your head. Or if you have a block, like I do have here, I have one of the thin one. I'm just going to use that block to rest my ear on top of that, yeah? So I'm gonna start to reach the fingertips forward. So your right fingertips are gonna reach towards me, breathing in. We're gonna draw a big circle above the head, and exhaling, I'm going to reach that right arm as far away as I can into a T shape until my gaze move to the ceiling. I'm going to carry on that circle. So the hand is going to move towards the thigh and then back towards that hand where I started from. So breathing in, we reach the fingertips, we reach the arm, we move that through the right shoulder, through the right scapulas, right elbow, right hand. Inhaling, I carry on that circle to the hip and thigh. Exhaling, I come back to the front. And I go once more in this direction, breathing in. And it's a really lovely stretch and a really beautiful mobility exercise for your back to really release any tension. So try to maybe enjoy and close down the eyes. We're going to reverse the direction. So we move the fingertips, breath in. We start to move from the thigh into that T shape. Breathing out, you can start to move the chin bone towards that right shoulder. And now we carry on that circle as close as you can to the floor. And we go for 2 more times. Reach, move to the front, release through the shoulder, both shoulders on the floor, chin bone following, arm reaching above, and then coming back. Give me just last one, everyone. Breathing out. When you find your T shape, really opening through the sternum bone, and breathing in when you come back to lie down onto the floor. Nice. We're going to move from here. So we're going to remove the block if you use the block, and you're going to just return the bottom arm on top. You're going to return your bottom arm under your head. Hand on top of the mat in front of your chest. I'm going to ask you to flex your feet and tuck your bottom toes onto the floor. So in this way, we can squeeze the heels together to open the top knee, and then we can close the knee down. So we're just going to our clumps. Exhaling to press. Inhale to close. Exhale just for 6. Breathing in and out. Inhale exhale. Keep every time these hips still. So your top hip is not rocking forward or back. We are always keeping the hips still and the long spine. Now remember what we said before. The rib cage is always down to the hips. So there is never a point where your belly should be forward and you're arching through the spine. This is your last one, everyone. We're going to keep that knee up. On the next one, we just pulse up an inch and down an inch. Exhale up, inhale down. For 6, really squeeze through the right glute. 4, exhale. 3, 2, more. Last 1. Beautiful. Relax the head, the knees, relax the feet. Start to walk your hands up. We're going to start to make our way back to seated. We're going to lengthen the legs forward. Now the leg that just worked, so your right leg is going to bend inside the thigh. We're going to flex the foot. We're going to reach the arms, breathing in. Exhale, I'm going to ask you to forward fold towards the toes of the long leg, towards the ankle or towards the shin for a big breath in. And a big breath out. And notice how far down can you go without holding any tension into your hips or lower back. We're going to start to unroll the spine, breathing out on the next exhalation. And we're going to recollect the feet to the other side of the mat. And we're going to bring that block or hoodie, towel, anything you have to move onto the other side. Release the head and the arms are shoulder level. Bend the legs, breathe in, reach the left hand. Exhale, circle, open, look to the ceiling to begin with. And breathing in, carry on the circle. Exhale, roll back. And we go for 2 more. Big circle, really focus on what feels right. Can you really release the shoulder? Can you bring the hand down to the thigh? Return it to the hand. And then can you reach farther forward and away for 1 more in this direction. It should feel really nice. Gives a bit of love, a bit of attention to how you feel today, to your body, to your back. We're going to reverse, move the hand forward. Move the hand to the thigh, to a T shape. Return above the head and then forward towards me. 2 more times. Beautiful job, everyone. Breathing out. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. We breathe in. Exhale, move, melt those shoulder blades on the floor. Look to the arm that is circling and then come back. 2 long arms. Release, bring the arm long. Relax the head down. And we're going to start to bring the toes on the floor. And we're going to start to bring the hand in front of the belly. Press the heels, turn your toes into a little V shape, and then close the knees down. Exhale. Inhale. And it's better if the palm of the hand, so I'm speaking about your right hand, is just flipping towards the ceiling, so you don't have a lot of support from the floor. So I don't want you to push the hand down. I want you to just balance onto the right hip and keep the left hip still here. So your hips are aligned and there is no movement back and forward with the torso. Now I'm exaggerating, of course. But everything is really controlled and is really nice and slow. Give me 1 more. Exhale. Inhale, come back. And on the next one, just taking those pulses. Forward and back an inch. Forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Just for 4, for 3, exhale 2, beautiful, last one. We're going to return down, we're going to walk the hands up to seated, same stretch we did before, lengthen the legs forward, bend your left knee, left foot inside the thigh, reach your arms, flex your front foot, big breath in, exhale, release forward and down. Beautiful job, everyone. Release, 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 and breathe. Taking in high through the nose and exhale through your mouth. All right, let's unroll the spine, bring everything up to seated, bring your legs into a cross legs position. Reach your arms up, taking in high here, take the spice with you. Exhaling, open the arms, rest your hands onto the knees, round your spine. So we just finish with a little bit of a C curve down, chin to chest. And then inhale, long spine, look up. Exhale, round, look down. Inhale, lengthen, look up. Give me just one more. Exhaling, round the back. Inhaling, find your neutral spine. Long inhale and a long exhale to release. And well done, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'm gonna see you here in again a week time for another Pilates flow. Feel free to just comment or share any thoughts, and thank you so much for staying with me today as well.